Accidentally hit 7 buttons at once. Hello. You improving your PC, Alex? By the way, sorry if the background's super dark today. The bulb blew in my main lamp and I haven't had a chance to... Well, I haven't bothered to change it yet. So, welcome along. Before we get started, let's do a bit of external proof lighting. In position 2, we need to take these off. Need to get this plane ready to fly. And it looks particularly pretty today for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why. I'm flying on the new, I say new, the X-Plane Beta. So this might have some wonkiness, and if it does, because I'm on a beta patch. Take that off. Take that off. All pins removed now, I believe. Yep, that is all pins removed. Pre-flight complete. Even though there's still some stuff that doesn't look right, that's fine. Let's get the plane starting up. Need APU to start. This is the really boring stuff, and I do apologize for, you know, the pre-flight being not the most exciting thing in the world, but all needs to be done. Nose steer on. That off. Right. I forgot to log into VATSIM. GG me. Where's Swift? There it is. It's Challenger 300. No livery. Connect. Connected to VATSIM, just want to verify 22.8 is in. I'm on Unicom, fantastic. Flight plan is going to be from FNLU. Departure time is going to be about 16:50. I can show you guys this. There we go. True airspeed is going to be about 450 knots. We have TCAS available. We are slant Lima. We have advanced RNAV capabilities. Cruising altitude is going to be 35,000 feet. Our route is Argo, Romeo 987 to Ilgal, then Uniform November 187 to Woodsix. Our destination is Fox Yankee Whiskey Echo. Estimated time en route, I'm going to put 2 hours. Fuel on board, we've got about 4 hours of fuel. And our alternate, I'm not going to do that. Hard drives do click. It's an old thing that they used to do. It's the... I'm just trying to get Swift client into a way that I'm happy with it. Yeah, I want ATC. We need... Now, VTAR, FNLU, 1600 Zulu, which is 40 minutes ago, that's fine. 24006, Caval K 2620, QNH 1012, and 240. Let's bring up our charts here. Aviation today, because it's right there. We're swapping between Avitab and here we go. 240 being... Oh, brilliant. I'll be able to use the same info as last time. Flight plan is going to be FNLU to... I've already forgotten. FYWE. Flight number Golf Romeo Delta Whiskey Tango. And we're going to go initially direct Argyle. That's going to change momentarily. And then it's R987 to Ilgal. Yes. Ilgal. This is anticipated to be about a 2-hour flight. It's the only flight I'm planning today. Just because it is 2 hours, and then it's UN 187 to Utsex. Execute that. On to VNAV. Transition altitude is going to be transition altitude 3000. Cruising altitude is going to be 350. And transition flight level on the way back down, I'll set it at 10,000 feet. You'll see why when we get there. So, let's set, activate net climb, perfect. Set departures for runway 23. It'll be G18018 to Argyle. Execute. That's that planned in now. Runway 23 is what, heading 233. So set heading 233 here. You'll notice we still haven't started the engine. Still on pre-flight stuff. For some reason our altitude hasn't changed, but that's fine. I think let's bring this up to... Let's just set the altitude here up to cruise. Up to 35,000 feet. Speed bug. Bring it up to 150 knots initially. Emergency lights armed. Nav lights on. Beacon light on. And yeah, I think we're about ready to start the engine. So let's start engine 2 first. This song sounds like it's gonna be dodgy. I've got it on. I should have it on YouTube safe mode and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's on YouTube safe mode. Disallowing mature, so it's not going to be dodgy. Also, this is a radio edit, so it should be fine. Did I take it down? It shouldn't have disappeared. Let me just have a look real quick. It might have been made unlisted. Uploads, presumably. It's not appearing in my dashboard. That is odd. Oh, there it is. Back at the BB. It's unlisted. I apologize. Let me just fix that real quick. There you go. It's now public. Hey, Scott. Are we there yet? We've not even taken off. We've not even got the second engine started. Right cross bleed on. Or right engine bleed on. Left engine, let's get that started up. And we'll remove gust lock. Set flaps 10. Or flaps 1, whichever you wish to call it. Phone on the floor, there we go. And we have a good start engine 1. APU is no longer needed, let's turn that off. We're now running exclusively on engine power, and let's have a look at where we're taxiing. So we're going to be taxiing to the left here, and then up that taxiway there, I believe. Now playing is still broken. Now playing is still, it's still borked. I don't know why. Where's the other thing that I wanted? That is X-Plane? No. That can go there. And then I can put this up under everything else for the time being. Fantastic. So let's get the parking brake off and get in a bit of a taxi. So I have generated ortho for this route, and hopefully the game won't crash. I'm having issues with X-Plane crashing on me lately. So it looks like we're going to be going beyond this 777, I want to say? Beyond this jet and in between that and the Delta 73 over there. Potentially, perhaps, possibly, maybe. But we are on our way already, which is good. Crossbleed's still open because I forgot to close it. We have no warnings for takeoff, which is good. Oh, we're going to be going beyond the Delta. That is Project Fly. That's Project Fly. That's Project Fly's streamer overlay, which is really bloody useful. And I think they're putting it behind a paywall at some point soon, so I might actually subscribe to Project Fly for that. It's probably showing an ETA, but that's... Oh, it's not showing an ETA. Why is it not showing an ETA? Hang on a second. Settings... Streamer tools... Put that on for fun. Actually, no, that's not... Departure, arrival, ETA, progress bar, aircraft type. Aircraft registration can go on as well. Call sign. Actually, let's get rid of registration, just put call sign, because that's going to be the same. Yeah, there you go. More information.
Approaching 07.
Gonna be homologated custom prototypes, same for the engines. Cool. Right, let's get squawking. 2000 Tara. Weather up on that, that's fantastic. Let's get landing lights and strobes going. Got beautiful weather today. This is the real weather in Luanda today. And can't fault it. It is some truly wonderful weather. Let's get our flight director on. No, that's the old damper off. Flight director on. Flight level change. 150 knots, that's fine. And nav.
Approaching 2-3.
Need to change the nav source to FMS1. Hey there. And give this a little old swang around.
On runway 23.
And we have been cleared for takeoff. Let's get up to about 40% N1. We're good. And up to takeoff. VNAV on. V1. Rotate. Positive rate, gear up. Flaps up. So I'm gonna hand fly this for a little while. Okay, yeah, I'm doing good. How are you? Just bring those down. Get into our turn here. Even more nose down trim. Good lord, trim of 2.0 already. There we go. Small bit of nose up. Through transition level, let's go with standard barrow. Trim back nose down again. And let's get the autopilot on so that I don't have to do all of the work in the world ever. Let's have a look at this plane from outside. Here we are in November 130 Charlie Hotel, also known as Golf Romeo Delta Whiskey Tango, flying out over Luanda in actually much nicer weather than I had yesterday when I took the thumbnail. Can you tell that I've generated ortho for this? Yes, you can, because you've got ground clouds. But yeah, this is Luanda. Heading off now to Windhoek in Namibia. I've got flaps mapped to a joystick button. I have all the common controls that I'll need mapped to joystick. The only one that I don't is like the autopilot settings, because there's too many of them. I've got trim, flaps, gear, reversers, all mapped to joystick. So you can tell there was a bit of an angle going on when the satellite flew over, because the cloud is completely detached from its own shadow. And I will say there is some spectacular views on this route. Just absolutely stunning. I also have the time set up so that I won't need to faff at it. We will in theory, hey Welsh, and Greek too. We will in theory have, if my timings are correct, a sunset landing in Windhoek. And that's we were only doing the one flight today. This flight time is anticipated to be about 2 hours. Thereabouts. So, give or take a bit for you know, wind. Because wind is forever the enemy. What's going on? Why am I getting 20 FPS? Hang on a second, this isn't good. FPS boost is on. Now I'm getting 50. Okay, something there was making my computer very angry. That is, I think, a different airport. There is an airport there in real life. You can see the runways, but it's not there in the game. You can see a runway there. You can see a runway there. But they're not in the game. That's a new airport, or maybe an old one that isn't in the game anymore. Did I see the new Microsoft Flight Sim? Yes. Looks really good. Slightly concerned by the fact that it's going to console. Slightly concerned by the fact that it's Microsoft. It's going to be very difficult to actually capture the damn thing. With Ortho, you just download the areas. I actually have to generate it. This Ortho gen took about 12 hours for today's stream. And it's probably about 400 gigabytes. Needless to say, I generate Ortho specifically for a given stream. Because, holy cow, that just wouldn't work out otherwise. We actually have... How high are you, Speedbird 5.9? 35,000 feet. Okay, this is potentially going to be cool. There's going to be, in theory, a British Airways 747 flying directly over us in a minute. That might be why I had the frame rate drop. Where is he? He is quite high, so he may already have flown over us. Where is he? Is it one? 35,000 feet. That's where I'm going. Oh, he's gone off to one side now a bit. Still slightly behind. So we might have a 747 following us for a bit. One thing I need to do, or a number of things I need to do. Number one, get the landing lights off, don't need them. Now, like I said, no go, seatbelt lights can come off. And that is us set for cruise. But in theory, yes, Stouter, you do just download the kind of the pictures that you'll need for every. Alright, download the pictures that I'll need for every stream. There he is. There he is. I don't know if you guys can see it very well. There's a little white dot just over there, just above my mouse cursor. That is a 747. That is Speedbird 5.9er. I know it doesn't look like a 747, but I promise you it is. We're gonna have a 1 terabyte drive. Yeah, you're probably best off doing ortho on this. He's going from Heathrow to Cape Town. This dude over here. And slightly concerned about spacing, actually. I might bring us up to 37,000 just to give spacing to the 747. This is something I've not had to actually worry about for a while, is spacing with other aircraft, but he is at 35,000 feet. Oh, he's coming. He's actually climbing to 37. He's doing the climb for us. So he's climbing to presumably 37,000 or 36. We're going to be staying at 35. Currently at 25, 26 probably. Currently at 32. In fact, 33,000 feet. So we're almost level with him. And where's the 747? Actually, where has he gone? I have lost the 747. I think he might have disconnected actually. Oh no, we've got, oh, there he is. There he is. We've melted into the sky there briefly. He is taking a slightly different route. Meanwhile, on the ground, we have some quite glorious views. I mean, you don't get this without using ortho. Oh my god. Ah. These are some of the better satellite photos I've seen from Africa as well, so I'm hoping it stays this good in South Africa, which is going to be next week's, or on Monday's stream. Obviously, no streams over the weekend, as I will be watching them on. Be watching my motor racing, and back on Monday with more World Tour. Windhoek to Cape Town, but I'm not going to be landing in Cape Town International. I'll be landing in actually a small private strip there, Stellenbosch Aerodrome, which is about 10 miles north of Cape Town International. Hello, Trap. Where's Speedbird 59 gone? Have I lost him again? I've lost Speedbird 59 again. Traff, what do you think of my ortho? Do you think it is pretty? I think it is pretty. Ah, bloody good. Look at how pretty my ortho is, and then ground clouds to ruin it. There is over there somewhere 747 flying to Cape Town. Looks bad. How does that look bad? Like, that looks bad. I'll give you that. That's a fair cop. That looks bad with the ground clouds. That doesn't. Except for these three bits of the ground clouds. We are kind of looking at the weather is nice to us today. I flew this exact leg last night and it didn't turn out as well. Didn't look like the ortho was barely visible, so I'm really glad that the visibility is very high today. Very good viz, very good flight, and the winds are... Oh! This is going to be less than 2 hours. This is going to be less than 2 hours. We got a tailwind. You got everything but the CPU for new PC? Lies. By the way, Trav, actual legit question for you. Are you aware of X-Plane going to Vulcan? As opposed to OpenGL? And do you know what Vulcan means, most importantly? You are aware of X-Plane going to Vulcan. Are you aware of what that means? Better performance, yeah? True. How is that better performance happening? I'm now grilling Traff on technical aspects of games that I know and he maybe doesn't. Trying to do gotcha. How will Vulcan improve performance? In theory. How will Vulcan, in theory, improve my performance? Because I can tell you that I'm anticipating a performance boost with Vulcan. You're not sure on that one? OpenGL, the way that it works is it uses one core from your PC, from your CPU. Vulcan doesn't do that. Vulcan uses all of the cores. So Vulcan, as opposed to the OpenGL, which only ever uses one, maybe two cores. Some games actually get OpenGL running across two cores. Vulcan uses all of them. So if I open up this and get performance, can I go CPU, change graph to logical processors? Oh, that's a really bad... Why is that using all my cores? It shouldn't be. This shouldn't be happening. It should be one core I wonder, is hyperthreading causing this to work across all 8 cores? Or all 4 real cores and all 4 virtuals? That's interesting. So in terms of where we are on our route today, close that. Close that. We are right here. We're heading down here, and we left from here. Now you might notice I've got an arrival in this route, an approach in. That is subject to change depending on basically winds. But we're very nearly at Uvamo, at which point we will continue along Romeo 987 to Ilgal. It's all Romeo 987 according to this chart. Hey, DMF. Let's get the map up on the Avi tab there. So we left. We marked on the map. We left about. Oh god, we left there, and we're already here. But we're heading here, so we've not gone very far yet. And as you can possibly see, we're going to be heading over some kind of deserty looking areas. If I look down, you can see it's yeah, quite dry down there, apart from the rivers. Just gonna get white mountainous, and I can now reveal why I've set my transition level on descent to flight level 100. It's because Windhoek is actually at an altitude of 8,000. Sorry, no, it's not 8,500. What's the altitude of Windhoek? Apparent. Charts, taxi, airport. Apparent elevation 5,575 feet. Yeah, so we're going to need a surprising amount of 0119. That's going to be the only runway we'll actually be capable of landing or taking off from due to altitude. 0927 is not an option. That's more for small single-engine aircraft. So we are limited to one runway ops on this airport, especially with this plane. Because we'll need greater than 3,000 feet. Yeah, we'll need greater than 3,000 feet to land. So we'll stick with the. We might be able to get away with 03 or 0927, but 0119 is probably a better option. And there are some RNAV approaches here. We will be using RNAV regardless of which runway we use. Last night on my test leg, the wind suited 19, so I came in from Dumso and headed down. You can see that these altitudes are quite high. Minimums are at 1,000 feet. We'll set the minimums already to 1110. Refs minimum goes all the way up to 1110. It actually won't go that high. We'll set it at 1,000 then. Going Mach 0.8, 18 minutes into the flight, we still have about what is it, Zulu? No, I don't want local, I want Zulu. 1435. Still got about an hour and a half on this flight, so the wind is helping. We can project fly a Tom Jet 7 Kilo Alpha. Hey Murphy. Hope I'm having a good day. I'm having a good day, yeah. Enjoying a bit of a cruise in the Challenger. Or Madeira to Manchester. What a boring flight. Like, you're just going over ocean the entire way. Meanwhile, I'm going like, I'm going over Africa. La di da di da di da di da. Also, apparently, like, some of the South African control is online on VATSIM now. No, but there's inexplicably just 2 ATISs online. Why are there 2 ATISs online in South Africa? Nice manual approach. The Madeira approach is nice. I presume you flew the one that you circle against the mountain to land, the circle to land, because that is a really nice approach. I ain't gonna pretend like it's not. There's the mountainous terrain starting out down there. Unfortunately, it's all covered by clouds, so the visibility is massively reduced. But here are the beginnings of the mountains. Hello, Scooter Vids. Is your 5 coming over a water turn? Is he about to eat in the mountain? Yeah, that was a really nice one. I watched. Who was it I was watching last night? Brad M did that approach last night, and then he took off in a 7.5. To try and land on one of the aircraft carriers that may or may not be moored up, or is moored up in X-Plane, and yeeted onto the deck of the carrier unsuccessfully. Don't know why Speedbird 9 Mike Victor has a 5 in it for some reason. Because the real life flight between... Isn't the real life flight between Heathrow and Cape Town Speedbird 9 Mike Victor? Or is it 5-9 Mike Victor? Either way, those two are going to get very confused. And probably did in Heathrow. Oh, you're going to get full service once you hit the UK, Trav. GG. You got London Control. Actually, which London Control is online? Central and South. So you won't get North Centre, but you'll get decent coverage. Yeah, London's South and Central are online, as well as Manchester Delivery Ground and Tower. Brussels Control is also online, as is Copenhagen Control, and Wien Radar. It was on ground. Let me check. Ross Parker. No, that's delivery. Sorry, Thomas Crowdass. Crowdass. Crowdace. Crowday. Crowdass? Crowdass. Thomas something or other ass. And Tower is Samuel Ray. making good progress. We got an hour and 27 minutes estimated remaining. Which actually makes my estimate of 2 hours near perfect. Last night did this route in an hour 57, but we do have a nice tailwind now, so that might affect the... How strong is this tailwind? 12 knots. It's not the best tailwind in the world. But we do have a tailwind, which is nice. Let's head back outside. Have a look at... Oh my god! I wonder where the ortho tile stops. Could you perchance tell me where the ortho tile stops? I maybe should have generated this tile over here as well. But, yeah, this is pretty. Let's just ignore the... This is the difference between default generation and ortho generation. In terms of ground textures, like that's all default explained. This is all ortho that I actually went to the bother of generating, and slight difference in quality there in terms of ground representation. Are those fields? Holy cow, those are fields. They actually farm the land in there. Lunatics. Although I guess they don't have much of a choice. There's not much flat land around here, so... Those shadows there are being generated, by the way, by those clouds there. So the clouds there are casting shadows there. Our shadow is going to be a tiny little blip somewhere over there-ish, I think. Let's see where the sun is located currently. Oh no, our shadow is going to be off over there somewhere. But it's going to be so tiny you won't even be able to see it. Hello, Black Prior. How you doing today? I am doing very well. I'm enjoying African Ortho, which is something that I want to... Hello, Jesus! You have migrated from Landy's chat yesterday into mine today. I am blessed. The aircraft's loud. You can barely hear me. Let me fix that real quick. There we go. That should have fixed it. Unless there... Ah! Oh, hang on. I could have just done this. Here. Master up. And loop this back up. There we go. You should be able to hear me a lot clearer now. Apologies, I'm still tweaking sounds for XSplit. I used to use OBS all the time, and I had like a compressor set up. But, ran into issues with another game that I streamed, so now I'm using mainly XSplit. What's up? Not a whole lot. We're flying between Luanda and Windhoek. Been in the air for about half an hour now, just over half an hour. Of an anticipated 2-hour flight time. So, about a quarter of the way there. Doing a world tour. Started off in Dublin a couple of months ago now. Thoughts on the new flight sim? The Microsoft one? It looks really good. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna start off with the positive. It looks really good. It looks stunning. Now I get to cover the negatives because I feel like there are few. I'm concerned by the fact that it's going to console as well as PC. Simulators of any kind that go to console kind of naturally get a bit hamstrung by the limitations of the consoles. I see it so much that it's just kind of a thing that I always get concerned about. Quite often I'm proved wrong and the simulator's perfectly fine. You know, it still works perfectly on PC. The console version is the one that gets hamstrung, so take that concern with a grain of salt, knowing that it's probably going to come out to nothing. It looks very similar to Flight Sim World, which might explain why Flight Sim World suddenly just shut up shop a couple of years ago. Do you know what? I'm not going to trust Dovetail games ever again, because that was just disgraceful. That there was no information on why Flight Sim World got shuttered, it just did. But in terms of more legitimate concerns from that trailer, how much of that was just pre-rendered nothingness? That was like, how much of that was actual in-game footage? Because they said, oh, it rendered, was it real time in engine, and that just means that they might have been playing a cutscene, because that's technically rendered in real time in the engine. I'll wait until there's gameplay out. I have signed up for the alpha and beta stuff. I've signed up to their Access Programmy Insider, the Majig. If there's an NDA, so be it. I want to try it for myself. If I really like it, I'll get it. If I don't like it, I won't. That's the way that I'm going to go with that one. Much more interesting to me in kind of the short term, in terms of flight sims, is, and I don't know if you've heard of it, Black, but Dead Stick. Dead Stick looks amazing. I will be buying that the day that it comes out. By hook or by crook, I will be getting that on release day. I've signed up for their beta as well. And Dead Stick, what it is a bush flight simulator. It's not based in the real world, it's based on a fictional island so that they can basically design the game around bush flying. And it looks so good. It looks so good, and I want it now. And I'm in their Discord just waiting with bated breath for like announcements of betas. Check my emails every day to make sure to see if we got into the beta yet, and stuff like that, because I really, really want that game. Not as like a streamer or a content creator, but just as a person, I want that game. I am a big flight sim fan. I like unique simulators. I used to play when I was an FSX air hauler, which now apparently has made it to Steam as an official add-on for FSX Steam Edition, which I'm kind of impressed by. But I used to play air hauler a lot. I do play FS Economy a bit. I do flight simi occasionally on that. Do I think I'll stream Dead Stick? Does a bear crap in the woods, Zaddy Boo? Of course I'm gonna stream Dead Stick, good lord. Yeah, Dead Stick I'm gonna stream. That, Landy, I think, might be streaming Dead Stick as well when it comes out. Because we're kind of slowly just turning the channels into, here's some games that I like. I don't care if you want them or not, I'm going to play them. Hence this stream. Thank you, Jesus, for subscribing! Yeah, my channel's now basically like Farm Sim 4 days a week, maybe 5, and then like, it might even reduce more, but it's like, here's some games that I like, here's X-Plane, I really like this game, it's really fun for me, I'm really enjoying this, and then Farm Sim because occasionally I need money. No, you're not, Jesus. Black Briar, thank you very much for for following. Too used to YouTube. Thank you for following. Be aware that the streams are mainly going to be farm sim during the week. Just because that's what YouTube demands I do. But Mondays and Fridays, they're my happy days. They're my happy days where I get to go through my hangar on X-Plane and pick a random plane that I think will suit the... Well, today I actually went through about 5 different planes before I figured, screw it, the Challenger's going to be the only one that'll actually do this leg in the same time period. I was going to do this in the Epic E1000, but the flight time was about 4 hours, and that was a bit too long for me. For just like a relatively short hop in Africa. They both at the same time. I totally could, probably. Especially on the long haul legs that I have planned. Sylvan, hello. Because I do have some long haul legs planned between, well, out to Hawaii and back. They're both long hauls, so I'm not going to claim otherwise. And then New Zealand to the Cook Islands, which is a disturbingly long flight. As well as like Australia to New Zealand and, oh, what the hell is this? Is that Macau to Mongolia? Yeah, Macau, Mongolia is like 3,000 kilometers. How are we now, Chris? Where am I flying to? I'm flying to Windhoek in Namibia. We start from Luanda, which is in Angola. We're still over Angolan airspace, I believe. Let's just check the map here real quick. Yeah, we're still over Angolan airspace. We'll cross over into Namibian airspace at Anvag here. And then it's down to Windhoek. Does this plane have multiplayer? Yes! Ish. I'm on the VATSIM network, but you can use like FS Cloud, Join FS, Pilot Edge if you're willing to pay a subscription, Iveo. There's probably others as well. You can totally connect all of those up to X-Plane. The downside with Pilot Edge, other than the fact that it's a subscription product, is it's literally just, depending on what you want to do, it's literally just the ZLA. Yeah, it's literally just the ZLA FIR, which, if I bring this up over here, this is ZLA over here, I believe. No, that's Oakland. That's Seattle. This is ZLA. It's literally just the LA area, or the Western expansion is, I think, from the... Does it go down as far as Houston? No. I think it's the Fort Worth FIR up to Seattle. I can't remember. Yeah, Salt Lake City FIR is in. Minneapolis isn't. Denver is. So it's kind of the western half of the US is the western expansion of Pilot Edge, but it's very expensive. Upside of Pilot Edge is it has real world ATC. It uses live professional air traffic controllers, so you're guaranteed ATC if you're on there. VATSIM is great because it's free. It's free and occasionally there's air traffic control. Is it the highest quality ever? No. Is the voice codec any good at the moment? No. Is the legendary, hotly rumored, actually potentially going to actually happen new voice codec that actually sounds like somebody's talking through their mouth and not their ass via a trombone? No. Coming out soon? Maybe. Is anything good? No. There's ups and downs to everything. Like, I always try and find balance and like, yeah, this is good, but reasons. I don't like being that guy that's just like, this is the best thing in the world ever. There are no flaws whatsoever. And I feel like that's disingenuous and just lying to people if I'm like, this is perfect in every single way. No, there's always problems with stuff. There's always going to be problems with stuff. Nothing in this world that we live in is perfect. So why bother trying to pretend like something is and just saying, this is good, but I wish it was better. And here's how it could be made better, and here are the problems. But VATSIM, as a free solution, is probably the better of the two between VATSIM and Iveo. Then again, I've not messed about with Iveo, so I might be wrong there. Iveo might be slightly better. I've heard Iveo has more issues with silly things happening than VATSIM does, and VATSIM has a lot of issues with silly things happening. Although on the other hand, the VATSIM bureaucracy is hilarious. This is me. I'm trying to be fair to everything. It's incredibly difficult. I'm willing to say that the best experience you can get with an air traffic controller is probably Pilot Edge, but you really need to know your stuff going into it. Failing that, probably VATSIM, and if you're somehow banned from VATSIM, probably then Iveo, and then after that it's like Project Fly. Not Project Fly. FS Cloud and JoinFS, they're both pretty much the same. JoinFS is a bit awkward because you gotta set up servers and stuff. But I think there is, like, going back to your original question, I think there is actually some inbuilt multiplayer in X-Plane somehow. I just can't be bothered figuring out how to do it. It's much easier to just use VATSIM. I've just noticed the airport we're going to, Eros in Windhoek, isn't actually on the VATSIM network. It's an uncontrolled airport, so this could be, this could get interesting memes. Right, mini rant about pilot clients for Explain multiplayer over and done with now. I promise. There's so many of them though. I've probably missed like 6. Because, oh my god. I wish there was just like one client, like POSCON, which is apparently coming eventually. I wish there was one client that was just like, this is the client for Explain multiplayer that has like everything you want in it. And 0 faff. You hop on the YouTube stream? Feel free, Black. I am actually very slowly migrating to Twitch. So these dual streams are my way of getting people onto Twitch again. And I do hope to, in the future, do extra streams on Twitch of flights in, just random flights. Time is an issue there. I'm not sure these red blotches on the ground are true to life or not. I'm really not sure what to make of these red blotches. It looks almost as if there are clouds that have been photoshopped out with, like, a red brush. Or an orangey brush. That looks very odd. That looks very odd indeed. It looks like this... Yeah. I'm not sure what to make of that. They're definitely in ortho, I think. Yeah, the red blotches are definitely in the ortho. Huh. Dislike it when it glitches out like this and does just weird things. Is this a full game? Yeah. In terms of like where you can fly in X-Plane, pick 2 countries and you can do it. You can fly from New York to Japan, to Tokyo. You can fly from London to Melbourne. You can fly from Dublin to Auckland if you have like a 777 or something. Like all you need is a plane capable of doing it. You can fly wherever the hell you want. Didn't I say this was an alpha? This isn't. This is a full release. I am on the beta patch for 1.35 or 11.35, which is just I think a few bug fixes and stuff, and then some stuff for the Colomata Concorde being added in by the devs, including trim tanks, which would be nice to work. But this is a full game. It's been out for the last 2 and a bit years, maybe nearly 3 years now. And very actively still in development. The ones in alpha are the Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 and Deadstick. But Deadstick's not even in alpha; it's in pre-alpha still. I'll count the initial quote-unquote beta test as an alpha. I think they're mislabeling it slightly. It's not a huge concern of mine, to be honest. I'm enjoying how the trees like show up at specific angles only. We're on our route now. Top descent in 399 miles. Destination 509. We've got 100 miles of descent. Yeah, you're quite high. See you, David. So 1608 plan. That's 1808 local. That should be sunset. So if I were to swap this onto real time, it would actually be dark already. I am flying at a false time just to allow for being able to actually see. Because X-Plane at night gets incredibly dark. Maybe the red splotches are clear. Oh, that's not a bad guess. It could be different soil types, so you could be right there. I'm gonna guess there's a dam on this river somewhere because that looks almost man-made. I'm gonna guess there's a dam about there. Maybe actually there. That's causing this to back up a bit into there, but then again this outlet looks like it'd be completely filled up. Hey, Voltstruck. That looks like it's been man-made. Doesn't look like a natural lake. In fact, is that the sign of a dam? That's either a dam or just a plain old bridge, but I would be willing to wager that's a hydroelectric dam right there. And there's an airport down below, by the way. And these are definitely clay soil fields. That I can tell you in a second flat. There's an airport down below. What airport is it? Because I can check. It is... we are where? Not on my map. Interestingly. So that's a very small field. It's a very small airfield there. We are, I think, out in the middle of nowhere, to be fair. Let's bring up the world map and see if there's any named areas around here. So that would have been Matala, is that area back there with the little airfield. That would have been Matala Airfield then, or Matala Airport, depending on how they want to classify it. Our next kind of waypoint here in terms of places we'll fly over is Onjiva, and then Oshikango. It is Oshikango. Oshikango as we cross the border into Namibia. We won't be passing over Zangongo. We will be flying over Oshikango. And then Ondangwa. The Etoshapan looks, again, somewhat man-made. We'll be flying nearby to Ochiwarongo. I'm using autopilot at the moment, but when I'm hand flying, it's a joystick. I'm really glad that I've got a spare coil for this thing, because this is disgusting right now. By the way, if you're wondering why I'm puffing on this kind of incessantly, I'm trying to use up the oil that's in it, because I got a new coil set right here that I need to swap in, because the coil in this is gone, effectively. Is it the same coil? It's a 16 to 18. I think this is a 12 to 16, isn't it? Might work a bit right, who knows? There is, by the looks of it, a forest down there. We're running into frame rate issues again. What's going on? What's my frame rate? 50s. It's fine. There is a river, which is the... that looks like it might be... Where's that river come out? Because as all rivers in Africa, they flow south. So that goes into the Ruacana Dam. It then follows this border by the looks of it. And... or does it stop at the dam? Because like it goes out there. Oh, it feeds into the dam and that's it then. That doesn't sound right. But I'm not seeing it feeding out anywhere, so I'm guessing it stops at the dam. In terms of time remaining, we've got about 57 minutes left in this flight. We are approaching, well, we're just over halfway now. And just want to do a quick ATC check here on the VATSIM. Very good. The mysterious Atises have left. Let's hop back into the cabin here. And I feel like this is a bit loud, so I'm just gonna turn that down as well. Probably sound a bit more like that in reality. Welcome back again, Alexander. For those of you that want Farm Sim, Lanny's gonna be starting up in probably about 15 minutes or so. I'm assuming he's going to be streaming today. For those of you that want to stick here and watch them explain, we got about an hour left in this flight. I did tell you when we were starting off that it'd be about 2 hours. We got about an hour left. Not the shortest flight in the world, but it's by far not the longest we'll be doing on this tour. What's the next plane? I haven't decided yet. I'll be finishing this stream after this flight, and I'll be doing some test legs for the next flight. I'm hoping to use the E1000 on the next flight. Failing that, it'll be... If I need to use a big jet again, it'll be a 737. Hey Rupert, how you doing today? But the plan is the Epic E1000. Or similar. Failing that, it'll be a 737. Because I could use the Cirrus SF-50. Problem with that is it flies at about the same speed as the E1000. It actually flies slightly slower, despite being a jet. And I don't have anything in the middle between them and this in terms of airspeed. So that's something that I need to potentially buy at some point, but I have literally no money at the moment. So buying things is out of the question. Or buying payware is out of the question, which kind of sucks, but oh well. We are still getting a nice tailwind, actually. Holy cow. Yeah, we're still getting a really nice tailwind, so this is going to be a lot less than 2 hours. Yesterday when I did this test flight, my test flight, we had a headwind the entire way. This time we got tailwinds, and decent tailwind. Any good flight sims other than FSX, X-Plane 11 and P3? I've heard good things about... is it Infinite Flight? It's supposed to be really good. The only one... FSX isn't good. I'll tell you that right now, most me's. FSX, rule that out. The only two good ones that I know of and would trust. Lanny's not streaming today. He's put a message up on YouTube. Hello, David. Thank you for letting me know. Why is he not streaming? I don't want that tab. Is he ill? Got some stuff to do around the house. Oh, okay. Throw that like. I'm not gonna acknowledge that, Alexander. I'll acknowledge that you're saying it, I'm not gonna acknowledge it. But the only two, like, really top tier flight sims at the moment, must-me's, are X-Plane and P3D. If you're looking to get into flight sim right now, today, X-Plane is your better bet. It looks better off the straight out the box. And you don't need to do a ton of tweaking to it to get it to look good. P3D, you need to do a lot of editing to. You gotta put a lot of effort into P3D to get it looking good. FSX is just a lost cause. I'll be honest. FSX is a lost cause. There's no There's no saving FSX. That one is just Dovetail trying to make a quick buck still. If you're willing to wait, you've got Dead Stick coming relatively soon. Early access is slated for the end of Q2, but that is subject to change still. Apologies for the background on the stream, like my room getting progressively darker. I need to change the light bulb. I haven't got around to it yet, and that's something I'll do after the stream. If you're willing to wait, like, Dead Stick's coming soon, but it's not based in the real world, and it's going to be limited to very small aircraft and a very small map in comparison to P3 and FSX, or P3D and X-Plane, which have the entire world. If you're willing to wait a bit longer, and depending on how it works out, at some point in 2020, Microsoft is releasing a new flight sim, which seems to be based upon Flight Sim World, which was a Dovetail game that just screwed everybody, basically. They dumped dev of it one day with zero warning. They were literally advertising jets, and the next day it was like, yeah, no, the game, no, we're stopping development, we're cancelling the game, it's all done now, bye-bye. Which, that was very sudden, and there's been not even a leak from a dev saying why the hell that happened. Although at E3, the fact that FS 2020, which is what I think a lot of people are calling it, or FS 2020, looks similar to Flight Sim World. It could be that Microsoft bought Flight Sim World and hired Aerosoft to work on it, because it looks like, these are all rumors and just based on the trailer, it looks like Microsoft bought Flight Sim World and hired Aerosoft, which would be a surprise, to do a lot of the work on it, because all of the registration numbers in the trailer and in the promo pics are Alpha Sierra whatever, AS something. Now Aerosoft do have a habit of putting interesting tail numbers on planes. Being really annoying. He's not being really annoying. Or spamming. He's trying to troll me and it's not working. Are Astragon's still making generic simulators? Yeah. I don't think it'll be Astragon. I think Aerosoft is much more likely. Aerosoft do have a track record in flight sims. They actually published X-Plane 10. They've got a very strong track record of working in cooperation with Microsoft through FSX and P3D, which actually uses the old FSX engine, even though P3D is by Lockheed Martin. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how that works, and Roblox Flight Simulator is the best flight simulator for beginners. For beginners? Probably FSX, because the flight model is hilariously terrible. X-Plane is really good though. X-Plane is like, it teaches you everything you need to know. The flight school in X-Plane is apparently terrible. Just FYI, for those of you in here who can see it, admin chat and Discord. Also, hey, card. got an hour 4 in the air so far. We got, 46 minutes left. That brings us up to 1 hour 50 minutes exactly. Yeah, the winds are much nicer than they were last night then. That is pleasing. No, he hasn't. Plenman is a Bombardier Challenger 300. It's a business jet, a private business jet. So I'm not sure what's going on there. It looks like this has been used for bomb training or something. It's a business jet. It's got a range of about I think it's 2,500 nautical miles. Which we're going to be pushing the fuel range of what we actually have on board today. We've only got 1,800 kilos left, and oh no, 1,800 pounds. We're using 800 an hour per engine. So we got about an hour's fuel left. So I maybe should have put more fuel into the plane. I can, in theory, do that mid-air if I need to. Dash 8. I'm waiting for Q4 XP. That'll be the Dash 8 that I'll go with. I'm pretty sure the mods on Discord are mildly impressed by my sleuthing skills. There's another airport down there. That's AutoGen. That's an AutoGen airport. It's nice. Yeah, I wish I could have afforded to go to FS Expo, but I can't exactly afford to fly to, where was it, Orlando? And spend like a week there. That's not something that is in my realm of affordability at the moment. And next year's is in like Vegas, so that's a hard no for me going to that one, unless I suddenly like make tons of money in the meantime. There's some very interesting. There's always interesting hardware coming to flight sims. They're probably some of the best supported games in terms of hardware, because they are kind of they are a very natural hobby, and a lot of the people interested in them maybe have, I don't want to say a lot of money, but they've got a passion for flying and for aviation, and they're willing to spend a bit of cash to get that passion to the next level. Whereas with, let's say, first-person shooters, there's not a whole lot you can add hardware-wise, other than like maybe a laser pistol or something like that. There's limitations on a lot of other games. Flight sims and I would say racing games are some of the best supported in terms of hardware, just because they've got the ability to be expanded with hardware. Hey, Brendan. I'm doing good. How are you? Hope you're doing well today. We should now be in Namibia. We're actually just crossing the border into Namibia now. Dave's face just enters the light. You're lazy, Dave. Very nice. Also, that is completely false. Hey, Petrolhead. Dealing with real life and psychological stuff. I know that feeling, Petrolhead. I know that feeling so well. If you gotta deal with you stuff, you need to deal with you stuff. I need to deal with me stuff sometimes, so I just take a break from YouTube for a few days. Like this weekend, I'm dealing with me stuff. Me stuff meaning me want to watch Le Mans 24 hours. So me going to watch Le Mans 24 hours. Next week, I'll be dealing with me stuff too. Me want to watch Nürburgring 24 hours. So me going to watch Nürburgring 24 hours. But sometimes I do need a psychological break for a day or three as well. These X-Plane streams do help quite a lot, because this is relaxing. This is super relaxing. It's just enjoyable. Granted, I'm on all about it, but just kind of watching the world go by as you fly. You know, there's no stress, no feeling like there's a million and one things that I need to do, no pressure to a certain extent. There is on landing, but I mean that's landing a damn plane. There's always going to be a bit of pressure doing that. Other than that, though, this plane is particularly hard to land, by the way, because it just has some weird flight dynamics at low altitudes and low speeds. It doesn't like. Doesn't like going very slowly. I once did a landing with this. I once did a landing in this plane where I kept the nose up until I think it was about 50 knots, and then the nose decided it wanted down. But it just, you can go nose up 50 knots of this pretty easily, and it just doesn't want to put the nose gear down. You're not very good at landings. It takes time to learn the landings now. The most unintuitive part is the fact that you don't push the stick forward. Because you know, I know you normally fly the 737. That's a really weird one, because you want about 3 degrees of pitch, between 3 and 5 degrees of pitch from like just going straight, because there will be a point where you just go straight. You want to be pitched up very slightly so that it kind of stalls itself a bit onto the ground. And just has a bit of lift left. It's very unintuitive that you hold the plane nose up to land with the throttles out, and it gets very confusing. You're also not good at seeing payloads around from me. Yeah. Back in a bit. Fair enough, Alexander. What the hell is going on here? Is that an ortho tile or is that default terrain? That's an ortho tile, but it's a very, I guess, a very old satellite image. It might be a newer one. I'm really not sure what's going on with this. Is that ortho? No, that's default. Oh. That's mildly annoying. Yes, default, because it looks horrific. Mr. reply to your comment. Basically I said that if you need U-time, take U-time. Like, I take me time a lot more than I used to now. This weekend I'm going to be watching Le Mans. Next week I'm going to be watching Nürburgring 24. And they're just going to be days where I relax. These X-Plane streams are basically days off for me, in a way. I feel completely relaxed doing these. They're not the best for watching in the world, I know that, but there's very little stress involved. Like, sure, there's a lot more prep work goes into one of these than like a farm sim stream, because I need to figure out a flight plan, figure out a plane, generate ortho, make sure everything's going to work together, make sure the flight's going to be a reasonable amount of time. But, you know, it's time that I get to relax. Putting the throttle back below the central position. It depends on what way you have the throttle mapped. Like for me, central position is about 60% throttle. Thereabouts, depending on what plane. It's roughly 50-60%. Whereas to get the reverses on, I need to go full idle, hit my thrust reverser button, and then push the stick forward again to increase reverse thrust. But at the same time, normally idle reverse is fine, because idle reverse is a much higher idle than just standing idle or ground idle. So I can kind of get away with just idle reverse and some decent braking action. With this I do need to actually thrust reverse a decent bit, because if memory serves, there is no auto brake. Just need to double check that actually. There are no auto brakes in this. Yeah, there's no auto brakes, so I need to. It's all manual braking, so I'll go 0 brakes, and then once we get down to about 60 knots or so, then I'll start manual braking. But up until then, it's all spoilers and thrust reverse. There we go. "35,000 feet, Mach 0.8, which is 271 indicated, 475 knots along the ground. Fuel load is fine for the remainder of this flight, but we are a bit lower than I'd like fuel-wise. Squawking TARA on 122.8 Unicom for VATSIM. Heading up towards Unlil. We've got 171 nautical miles left on this leg. You can see that we're most of the way there now. And top descent is 149 miles out. So we are about ready to start planning. Check your mappings, because sometimes X-Plane does some weird stuff. We can't use Swift for that. We're going to need to use this. It's Fox Yankee Whiskey Echo. Okay, pressure 1030, winds 60 at 6. We'll be landing runway 1 today, runway 01. So it'll be RNAV 01 approach. from change to RNAV01 via, not Tilly, via Isaac? We could go via Tilly and script her. Yeah, we'll go via Tilly. What would Isaac look like? That's a bit tight of a turn. Tilly is tighter, but I think it'll work better. So yeah, we'll go via Tilly. And execute that. That'll give us an update here. 309 miles to go, 169 to top of descent, 158 to 10209 to X. And at this point, I'll just throw on vertical speed mode. Can't throw on vertical speed mode because we're on VNAS. Can't throw on vertical speed mode at all for some reason. Oh well. That'll do. Hey, the flyer! Still got a nice tailwind going. Bit of a crosswind element to it now, but it's pushing us along nicely. Matt! You can see the auto throttle, which this plane doesn't actually technically have, is working very well. This is a simulation thing that I decided was a good idea. Gonna keep ground spoilers to auto so they deploy on landing. Starters are good. APU will need to come on in time. Fuel quantity is low, that's fine-ish. Is a mild concern, but 1300 at 800 an hour, so 1600 gives 300. Do I need to add fuel? So we've got about 800 pounds of fuel to be burned, which will give us 500 on landing. I'm hoping this doesn't reset flight. Ourselves a bit more fuel, flight changes. There we go. We were running too low on fuel. That was irritating. Don't know why the bananas decided to appear. We're still 150 miles from top descent. Also, I apologize for the ridiculously derpy shadows. There's some pay where I could get that to improve it, but it's 20 bucks and I don't have that money at the moment. What the hell is that? That is an extremely old satellite image, I presume. With one bit that is really well defined for some reason. And then we go into some much nicer looking terrain here. We should, in theory, be landing in the evening. Although, I might just skip time for a small bit. What's our local time looking like? 17:39. We're an hour out here, so let's just look forward to 18:03. There we go. There's the lovely evening lighting I wanted. 27 minutes left, 18:30. Yeah, that's going to be perfect. That's going to be perfect for landing. Let's get a nice view over there. So you can see the mist has descended a small bit. In real life, it is very dark here already. It is currently 9:15 local in Windhoek, or 2115 local time at, is it? No, it's not. It's 2016 local. Because it's 1816 Zulu. Zulu time, by the way, is just GMT under a different name. So Zulu is GMT, as is UTC. So if you ever hear UTC, it's just GMT, as is Zulu time. So if you ever hear, it's usually an aviation thing, it's like 1800 Zulu. That is just 6 p.m. GMT. And the reason 24-hour notation is used is because it's just easier, it's better, it's the better way of doing it. Please use 24-hour notation. I have it turned on literally everything. Because it allows for like 22:22 as a time, and 23:23, and 2020, and 19:19. Every hour has a doubler. And 000. So, I think I've done this before, but a few fun little facts about aviation here and why certain things are used. You might notice there's a mix of metric and imperial measurements going on in the cockpit here. You know, you got the metric, hectopascals, and Mach number paired up with the imperial feet. It's because feet are just generally used. We've also got imperial temperatures, 54 Celsius, ISA 1 degree Celsius. But the reason that nautical miles are used, which is what measurements are done in the air for most of the world, this is just tradition. It's carried over from, I'm gonna say it was probably Pan Am did it. Pan Am caused this. Hey, Tommy and John Deere Boy Eagle. Pan Am probably caused the metric temperatures, yes. Pan Am probably caused a lot of the old imperial measurements from seafaring to be brought over, because they called their ships the Clippers, or they called their ships. They called their planes Clippers, actually called them ships, because they were flying boats. Pan Am is the reason that pilots have the really cool captain's uniforms. They straight up used boat captain's uniforms on the Clippers. But that's why nautical miles is used. The reason feet is used is because reasons. It's because it's actually this is gonna sound weird considering I love my metric units. They're a bit more accurate than using meters in terms of altitude. They allow for much tighter separation. Like in meters, you're gonna have like a 1,000 meter separation, and then have planes at like 500 meters from each other, and that sounds really weird. Whereas in feet, it's 2,000 feet separation vertically. If they're flying in the same direction, 1,000 if they're flying in opposite directions, and it just makes more sense. It's just kind of more logical. However, in China, for sure, they actually do use meters as the altitude and the speed. You go however many kilometers per hour at however many meters altitude. In the US and Canada, I can't remember where else, instead of hectopascals, they use inches of mercury. So I think I can do this here real quick. No, it's not that. Is it? No, it's not format. Instruments. It's not instruments. There was a way to do this, and I can't remember how. I'm gonna need to remember. Is it under format? No. It's not that. DMEH? No, it's not DMEH. Radio. Bearing source? No. Refs. Ah, yes, here it is. Barrow. If I change that to inches of mercury, it's 29902. So again, it's more accurate, but it's not something that's used very widely worldwide. Most people use hectopascals because it's what weather services use. It becomes a lot easier to give pressures when you use what the local weather service is giving you. So we are going to be descending here in about 93 nautical miles. 93 miles to top of descent. And then 232 to the airport itself. We'll have some intermediates on the way, intermediate waypoints. If I increase the range here, you might be able to see the airport. No, you can't. Even 160 nautical mile range, that's too far. So there's Unlil, there's Utsex, and there. Oh, actually, no, there's the airport just coming in at the very top of the screen there. That's our. I've just realised I'm going to have to do something to the legs page. Execute the mod. There we go. So Utsex, yeah. There's the airport just coming into the top of the FMS here. It's very difficult to read. Like, I can barely make out one little Utsex here, but you know, you zoom out to here, it's just unreadable. I think I can make it bigger. No, I can't. We do have a few airports dotted around here. We've got one there, one there. I think there should be one off the left wing as well. But this has been some glorious weather. After all the storms we had coming through central Western Africa, to be heading down south now, having just this glorious sunshine is quite refreshing. Dowler, if you're still in the stream, I've seen your message on Discord. I'll reply to it after the stream. Actually, I can reply now. Let me think. Airport environment HD is great. Other than that, you can get like local-ish ground texture improvement stuff, as well as freeware airports. There we go. If you've never heard me type before, number one, I apologize for how loud my keyboard is. Number two, yes, I do type that quickly. And that was actually relatively slow. Is that a real cloud? That's a real cloud, okay. Is that a real cloud or a ground cloud? Hey Ian, good to see me back. I've been on YouTube for a long ass time, Ian. I've not left anything. The reason that I stopped streaming to Twitch was because I accepted affiliate, and that was a mistake because then it stopped me from dual streaming, which is what I'm doing now. So I sent Twitch a message a while back saying, "Can I get affiliate removed, please?" I actually, as much as being able to make money on Twitch from subs is great, it does affect my ability to stream inherently. You haven't been on Twitch or PC for a while. Ah! Yeah, but being affiliate on Twitch was a bad move for me. If I was streaming exclusively to Twitch, it would have been a great move. But, having YouTube still be my main meant that I just had to kind of quit Twitch for a while. That is a lot of airports in one area. Is that real? Are there really that many airports around here? So you've got Okaputa. They're not showing up on the chart, so I'm guessing they're kind of jungly strips. This looks like it might be an airport, actually. Ground 140... Maybe they're real. Rocking 2 jobs? I need to get 1, and you're stealing jobs from me. Oh, cool! They've got a dedicated flight training area? Up to 9,000 feet? That's really cool. It's right beside... Oh, yeah. Flight training area right beside weapons range. That sounds not dangerous at all. What the hell is that little dot inside in the training area? They've got a dedicated model airplane warning level here, up to 130 feet. That is really cool. Windhoek, you are so ridiculously arranged, except for the flight training area being right beside the weapons range. You have a little one on the way, so you need the cash. I have a Dave to support, so I need the cash also. But congrats, Ian. So now we're properly into the evening time. This is why I was setting the sim up to get an evening landing. I've made it a bit too dark too quickly. Let me just skip time back a bit to 1800 local. So I want the sun to be setting just as we're landing, because it gets very dark very quickly, but I love the evening lighting it gives off. Am I smoking? No. E-Sync. 15 weeks left to put the cash away. And then it'll be spent forever. $40 miles from top of drop. This is the bit where I... Oh, please don't crash now, explain. There you go. So you did your PC upgrades first? Yeah, I want to get a dedicated hard drive for ortho on this rig. That's going to be, I think, my next upgrade. Then I'll start working on... That was odd, pretzel. Then I'll start working on saving up for a massive upgrade to the entire PC. Let's see, 1601 UTC, 1801 local, we have 1615 to the airport. That's not correct. That's not correct at all. Oh, you got a 2080 Ti. I've only got a 2070. See you, Tommy. You have a nice weekend too, dude. I'll hopefully see you on Monday. If I'm awake. I'm planning a very active weekend. Well, very lazy active weekend. Where I sit down for 24 hours. And like make lots of popcorn, eat too much food. And watch a motor race at 200 miles an hour in France. For 24. Oh, I love endurance racing. Went all in, that way you don't... What's your RAM looking like, Ian? Because like I want to get a new CPU. I want to go up to like an i9. But the issue there is for an i9 I'd need a new motherboard, which would actually require me to get new RAM, and I'll probably go with 32 gig again. Because games still don't use all my 32 gigs of RAM as it is, so why upgrade the RAM when I can just get like is it DDR6 RAM now is needed, or DDR5? I'll do that as one giant bulk upgrade where I basically rebuild the PC as a whole. I'll be sticking Intel for the CPU just because, well, Intel has better single core speeds. You literally got 32 gig RAM to fill up the DIMMs. I mean, that works too. My DIMMs are full as well. But 32 gigs allows a lot of overhead, and because I am planning on doing videos on another project that I've been kind of I'm about ready to start working on that fully now. When I'm rendering those, I'll need all 32 gigs available, as well as much hardware power as possible, hence the 2070. Still rocking my 4790K, still working fairly well, still able to cope. And we're getting 35 FPS, and I've actually upped the graphics performance of this slightly. You do want to get into modding for FS, but no time. Farm Sim, Ian, I don't know if you've been following it since 19 released. 8700K, 30 gig RAM, 10. Yeah, that's the thing. Is like when you're building a PC, you have future proof. You get something that's going to last 3 or 4 years. I don't know, Ian, if you've been following Farm Sim at all since 19 released, but it's really. Why will you not let me go? Vertical speed. You don't even let me go filch? There's vertical speed. Nope. Yeah, I want vertical speed. Oh, I know why. Hang on. Alt hold. I want to set this to 8500. Which is going to be start of the approach. I think 8500 start of the approach. What is it was 8500 for 1.9 anyway. Overlay please. No, I didn't want that. Overlay please. And it is, oh, it's 9000 for 01. So let's get this up to 9000 here. 9000 vertical speed. And here we go on descent. Right on top of descent as well. Mods are taking longer to come out because there's less modders. A lot of modders got chased off by how difficult it is, and some of them didn't want to learn, some of them just outgrew the game. Yeah, modding is... Farm Sim is a struggling game right now. Let's get seatbelt signs on again. No smoking and seatbelts on, please. You'll probably need your seatbelts. Hour 42 into the flight here now. And we have another 15 minutes to go. Will bring us up to an hour 57. Oh my god, the exact same flight time as yesterday. So yeah, that's a fun fact. The flight time yesterday when I tried this was 1 hour 57 minutes, but that was to 1.9. This is a slightly longer flight because we're going to 1.0. We're going to do a bit of a circle to land. But it's going to take about the same amount of time. Sending Mach 0.75, come down to 320 right now. And there's our really wonky approach, but it'll work. Cabin altitude is decreasing, actually slightly faster than the air altitude, which is slightly concerning. I'm sure there's a good reason for it. In fact, cabin altitude is now below landing altitude. That's going to be fun for the passengers when they wake up. airport's not going to be visible for a little while yet, but when it does become visible, it will be extremely pretty. If you look in the planes room in Discord, is it the last picture I put in? Yeah, the last picture I put in was on approach last night. That was the view out of the window of this plane last night. So I'm anticipating a very pretty view, and it's all gone very orange suddenly because we are very much in the evening time. Local time is 6:08. Local time is 6:08 p.m. In real life, it's actually 8:08, 8:36 p.m. But you know, deal with it. Using fake time for visibility. Launching FS19 for the first time in the defragged HD. You're gonna need to get a new hard drive, dude. There's no. I don't think there's much saving the one that you have. Let's get all the lights on, ready for landing. Let's go outside for a quick moment to have a look at this beautiful jet descending with the lights ablaze. And the contrail turning a beautiful shade of orange from the sun. So, I'm not sure, but this might be our airport there. I think it's actually a bit further on still. It's not a Geiger counter anymore, at least. Well, that's good. That means the defrag did something. Plane is actually using skid marks. That's a contrail. You think it's the sun? It's a nuke. I mean, it technically is. But just look at that for a view. I wouldn't want to fly over this during the day because it just looks so pretty lit up in the orange of sunset. Like, why fly over this with perfect lighting when you can fly over it with just beautiful evening lighting and the extended shadows and dark and light playing against each other? It's so pretty! We're about to make our turn onto the approach in momentarily here, 3 miles time. Let's get our heading onto what we'll need for the turn, which is going to be approximately 213, I would imagine. Thereabouts. There's this is a bit of an aggressive turn plane. Really glad that I put the seatbelt signs on, because otherwise everybody would have fallen out of their seats and probably out the windows. 213 is going to be a bit aggressive as a heading. It's going to be 209. Dowler, this is going to sound stupid. Turn off reflections. Turn reflections to minimal. Set the physics to be 1 cycle per frame, and you'll suddenly notice that your FPS will shoot up. Some of the settings for Explain are just bad. There's the airport there, I believe. Yeah. There's the airport. Or at least something that has the correct layout to be the airport. Yeah, there's a bug in Explain where having reflections set to anything. I can show you on my settings here. If the sim doesn't crash, please don't crash. See, I've got reflections set to minimal. Anti-aliasing's actually higher than I usually have it, so is visual effects. I usually have it set up like, I'll set it back to my normal settings here. Usually high, and FX AA. This is what it normally looks like for me. Not much of a huge difference, but still. And we're up to 46 FPS. Avitab's really nice in that it shows the FPS. 55 FPS now. That's it playing to central. And there's Okahanja, which is going to be off over there somewhere, I think. But there's Windhoek. That is our airport. I can confirm that now. So I zoom out. Oh, that isn't our airport. That is a very similar looking airport that happens to be nearby. That, I think, is our airport. But look at the mountains. Look at how pretty the mountains are. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Huh? Pope's gone. No. So I need to change that bloody light bulb. I really do. So yeah, that is the airport right there. And we will be landing on this end of the runway here. Still 18,000 feet. But we do have a... It looks like there's actually a hold programmed in here. Hang on a second. Is there a hold? No. That might just be the turnaround at Tilly. Just happens to look like a hold. Got the sneaking suspicion we're a tad high on profile here. Just what happens if I go out the old brakes a small bit. It's going to increase our descent rate. It is. Hello. Let's get the spoilers out. Get descending a bit faster. There's Windhoek appearing out of the darkness. I have chips. There we go. Full oxygen is now visible. All the lights in Windhoek are on. And we are hopefully not going to crash on descent here. These mountains are really pretty, by the way. Like, can't knock the detail work in these mountains. I am using, like, DEM data for it, so that's probably what the mountains look like in real life. Let's turn the range down here. There we go. What's our missed approach looking like? Missed approach gonna be oh, that's why there's a hold visible. Okay, climb straight ahead, fly over waypoint WEM01, turn left direct Tilly to hold at 10,000. That makes sense. What we're going to do now is we're going to get, even though we're 13,000 feet, we're going to get up to 1030 on our QNH. Just verify that is the weather here. Is last updated 1800 local. Oh. Okay. I just want to see if I can refresh this. Yeah, that's the latest weather. 10:30, 60 at 6, 18 minus 12. Wow, that dew point is hilariously low. So we are just coming up to Tilly now. And we won't be entering the hold at Tilly. We'll be basically spinning around. Alexander, he left of his own accord. You didn't. You never asked if he was kicked or left of his own accord. He left of his own accord. These mountains are really pretty. Namibia, you have some awesome terrain. Spoilers at full. And I'm on to arm approach mode. We have seemingly entered the hold of Tilly. Now we're going to have to bring this in manually, because we're now flying in the exact wrong direction. Also, check out how the plane has held itself at 10,200. We should have turned to the other direction there, but we didn't. Landy's not streaming today, Kirk. He said he has stuff to do around the house. I mean, we have full visual here, so let's do something I don't normally do. Something that you can do, but something that I normally don't. Your lamp back on. Do I have manual throttle control? I do have manual throttle control. Fantastic. Let's get this bird spun around. I want the flight director up for nav and approach. And I want nav direct to direct to their database. Oh, this might be the problem then.
Overspeed, 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 overspeed.
Execute. There we go, that's now giving us a much better idea of what we need to do. In speed, go 220. Descending too quickly. If it's not, he keeps crashing and startup, not to do with hard driving ideas. Check your log. See if there's something in the log popping for you. I'm maybe not going to be reading chat too much for a little bit because I am flying manual on this. I'm going to need more light. Let's bring time back just a bit. Those 10 minutes will do the world of good. Okay, we'll throttle in. Can't check it because you can't get into game. It's gonna be in your FarmSim folder log.txt. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna just force myself onto this waypoint here. Actually, no, that's a terrible idea. Let's swing back in this direction. I'm gonna hold 9,000 feet here for a minute, or thereabouts. I don't want to descend just yet. It's gonna be a pretty harsh descent onto the runway. I want to hold 9,000-ish. And we should get some sort of glide path coming in soon. May need to divert off this planned course just to deal with those mountains. Hayden, I'm aware. I'm aware. I'm also hand flying, so apologies if I'm not checking chat as much as I usually do. We're about to log.txt. It'll be in your FarmSim folder. You know where your mods folder is? In there. It'll be in that folder somewhere. So it'll be my documents, my games, Farming Simulator 19, and it'll be the log.txt. I'm gonna just scootle over this way a small bit to get a bit higher on the glide slope. We're gonna put in flaps 1.
Overspeed.
Nope. Never mind. So we're flying off course currently, off that course, to get onto glide slope, which is going to intercept over here somewhere. Some chips. Delicious. Get down to 200 knots. Should get glide slope in a moment. How are we looking with the runway there? Oh, we're still looking really good with the runway. We might actually still be on profile. Glide slope is in. And now I need to idle. There's going to be a lot happening very quickly here, so just bear with me.
Too low terrain. Too low terrain. Too low terrain. Too low terrain. Too low terrain.
Okay, just ignore those warnings.
Too low terrain.
As stupid as it sounds, ignore those warnings about
Overspeed. Overspeed.
landing gear.
Overspeed.
Okay, all the drag out, please.
Overspeed. 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 Overspeed.
Too high.
Overspeed.
Too high.
Overspeed. 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 500.
Approaching 0, 1.
Sync rate. 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 Sync rate.
Okay, there we go. A little low on profile here. We were way above.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
1,500 meters remaining.
That was a bit floaty for my liking, but buttery smoother than that. Just get to the end of the runway here. This is the longer runway and I still took it all. Yeah, this took nearly 2,000 kilometers or 2,000 meters to stop, so really glad I took the longer runway option. It's gonna be a short taxi though. So we're gonna stop up over with the King Air there. Actually, we're gonna stop up over by the helicopter pad. That's what all the lights are over there. Beside what appears to be a Dash A, maybe an ATR. It's an ATR. Very luckily get our wings in underneath here and just spin the plane around almost in place here. Let's get a bit closer to the building. That came out yesterday, Jim's house. That came out at 9 o'clock last night. Park it there. No, that was my pitch disconnect. That's the parking brake. Let's get the APU fired up. I'm just going to wait a minute for the APU to fully fire. It should be good now. The engine's off. And that is another flight logged. With a buttery smooth landing rate. What does Project Fly reckon my landing rate was? Project Fly reckons I got 259. X-Plane said minus 58, so I'm going to say 58. I gotta always take what the better landing rate was. 259 is actually still a very good landing rate. I'm guessing VATSIM actually sees the ground as being a bit higher than it actually is. But that is gonna do it for today's stream. I'm just gonna update the map really quickly to reflect where we are. On Monday, when I return, we'll be flying from Namibia down to Stellenbosch Aerodrome, and actually looking at the length of this flight, I may need to divert the flight to Cape Town International. Just looking at the length of it, it might be... This was what? 1585, the next one is 1278. Yeah, we might be flying a bigger plane on Monday. But until then, stay safe. And goodbye.